Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy YBP Gang, YBP Nation, YBP Boxing, YBP MMA. Coming at y'all with another video, commentary video, talking about what happened last Saturday, not at UFC Singapore. Probably should do a recap video, like recap videos more out for the UFC events, but we'll be talking about the boxing card on Top Rank. Not the main event, not Jared Anderson, Rudenko. Good performance by Anderson. Not any of those other fights. If you saw the thumbnail, if you saw the title, we're going to be talking about Muhammad Ali's grandson, Nico Ali Walsh. He suffered his first career loss, devastating loss. I think a lot of Nico Ali Walsh's last performances have been really underwhelming. We saw with the fight, his last fight against, forget what the guy's name was, but something Danny. He had tested positive for some adverse findings. I think he tested positive for some drugs, but even in that performance, the guy wasn't all that good, and the fight ended up going into a draw. I think a common theme with Nico Ali Walsh is just the lack of improvement from fight to fight. He's not progressing and improving, growing at a rate that we see a lot of young athletes improve at. He's kind of been stagnant in his career. We haven't seen that improvement. He's in the Sonny Akali fight that we saw on Saturday, he's struggling to move his feet, like get off the ropes, just basic stuff, like the fundamentals, stuff that you'd like to see a young athlete, early in his career do well with. We see that, at this part of his career, we're just not seeing those improvements. And he's being match made. Like, this wasn't a big step up. He's getting, relatively easy matchmaking up to this point. The guy he fought, Sonny Akali, he's a local for me, I actually didn't even know that going into the fight. But shout out to him, of course. Always get to see a brother, achieve and do great things at the world stage. But they brought him in for a reason, No offense, Sonny Akali. If you ever see this video, shout out to you. But, Sonny Akali, in his previous fight, going into this one, got knocked out by a 19-27 fighter. So he had a clean record. He was 7-1, but that loss that he got, he got knocked out by, like I said, a 19-27 fighter. So they brought him in specifically for Nico Ali Walsh to look good in the fight against him. And, that just didn't happen. It was really back and forth fight. I scored the fight for. I really agree with the scorecards, and I anticipated that they were going to rob him. And honestly, I wouldn't even have been mad. The fight was decently close, but I scored it 4-2 for Sonny Akali. It was a pretty back and forth fight. Like I said, we're just not seeing the improvement from Nico Ali Walsh in these performances. Just like I said, I'm not the biggest boxing. What's the term? Fanatic, you could say. But I've followed Nico Ali Walsh's career pretty close. I saw the Danny fight. I just watched a lot of Top Rank fights in general. He's on a lot of those cards, seen his interviews and stuff. Seems like a really good kid, but we're just not seeing the evolution out of his game, the improvement that you like to see at the athletes, like the other Top Rank stable. You look at a Shakur Stevenson, Abdullah Mason, what's the other kid's name? Shushu Carrington. Even Shushu Carrington, he didn't look all that good. He looked all right. Obviously you're gonna have those roadblocks where you run into a hard opponent, but Nico has been really disappointing. Just you've seen from even the boxing community, the narrative behind him, people really just aren't impressed with his performances. They're saying oh man, you need to take the Ali out of your name. You're not a Ali. I'm not really with all that. It's kind of sucks that it's a blessing and a curse that he's Muhammad Ali's grandson, because he never was really able to get out of that shell and be his own person. But he has a name and a legacy to carry, and he carried that with him everywhere, he goes. But every single, promotion we see, it's he's Muhammad Ali's grandson. This is Nico Ali Walsh, Muhammad Ali's grandson, Muhammad Ali's grandson. So, it's a lot of expectation, He seems to be handling the fight well. I hope that he can learn and improve from this, but it was coming. It was coming. It's not like this was a robbery or this was just this was too big of a step up. Sonny Akali's a relatively good opponent that Nico Ali Walsh should have handled in there, and he didn't. But let's get to the good question, the big question. What is next for Nico Ali Walsh? In my opinion, I think I don't know if you guys can see in the thumbnail on the right side. I said Jake Paul. I think the Jake Paul fight's very interesting. Y'all can laugh, bro, but like honestly, as a last resort, I really don't think Nico Ali Walsh should really be like. I just don't know. I don't know, like, if he really has passion for the. I don't know. I'm not really in his mental, but I think he should try to chase like a money fight, like one of these influencers. It'll be the perfect fight. It'll be a really good fight. I think Jake's a little heavier than him. Probably like I think. If I'm thinking, because Nico Ali Walsh fights at 160, and Jake, he could come down to 180. It'll be like a substantial size difference between the two. But if you're Nico Ali Walsh, you're probably going to have, and this is obviously if Nico Ali Walsh decides to like not cut weight, he'll probably be a little bigger too. But if you're Nico Ali Walsh, you're probably going to have in his mind, a substantial boxing advantage in the fight. And Jake Paul represents a money fight. It's an interesting fight. On paper, it sells itself. You have Muhammad Ali's grandson going up against the problem child, the Jake Paul kid. Fighting another boxer, can he get past him? I think it's a really good fight. If you're Nico Ali Walsh, you think Jake Paul easy, you go for that fight. He should just be chasing fights like that. I think the whole boxing career, I don't know how much of his heart was really into it or how much what his aspirations really were. I know there's reports out there like when it comes to, because Jake Paul has expressed interest in fighting Biagio Ali Walsh and obviously Nico Ali Walsh, and they turned him down because he's already having trouble gaining credibility as it is. You're just Muhammad Ali's grandson, so fighting Jake Paul wouldn't help that out. But I think you just got to throw that out the window. You're never going to be like your grandfather. You're never going to be Muhammad Ali. Be yourself. Be a fun guy who fights influencers, up in a while. Don't try to be something that you're not. You're not Muhammad Ali. You're not, any of this stuff. I mean, I don't hate to, like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just the truth. I think he'd benefit far more from just not necessarily trying to be the world champion, but just chase some fun fights up at this point. I think that would be a cooler build-up. And it'll be an exciting fight. I think it makes sense from Jake Paul's standpoint, and it makes sense on the Nico Ali Walsh side. They're both, I think Jake Paul's fought on Top Rank before, obviously. He fights on Showtime, but he can make that crossover for a fight like that. And Nico Ali Walsh, you're looking at Jake Paul, he's slim pickings. Even though he's a little bigger, probably hits pretty hard. He doesn't have the boxing ability that you do. And if you're Jake Paul, you're looking at the guy like, hey, this guy's, we're relatively the same skill level. You're looking at these fights where he's, struggling with, B-level competition. So I think it'll be a competitive fight. I think it makes sense from both standpoints. Y'all leave in the comments what you think about that fight. But that's all I really got for y'all today. Just a little, some dilemma to pick your brain, see what y'all think about it. And that's all I really got for y'all. Leave a like on the video, subscribe. Peace out, Musquad. You already know what it is.